Hi everyone, welcome back to the Maz channel. Thank you so much for tuning in, and if you're new, welcome. As promised, I'm going to be doing my spaghetti bolognese video today as part of the Easy Lockdown dinner series. I'm probably going to keep on doing these actually for the foreseeable. So yeah, today I'm making it with Quorn Mince, but obviously you can make it with normal mince as well. So I'm just going to take you through the ingredients. Right, so here we go then. So we've obviously got some pasta. I'm just going to use up these pasta shapes that I've got. And then for the bolognese sauce, I've got a couple of onions, which I'm going to chop up. Got some tomato puree. I've also got some chicken stock, but you can use vegetable stock as well. I've got some peeled plum tin tomatoes, some tin mushrooms. Obviously you can use fresh mushrooms. I've also got half a sachet here of spaghetti bolognese mix. Now you don't have to add this in, but I'm going to, just because it's got some seasoning, which I don't have any herbs and spices here at the moment. So I'm going to put that in. And then just a bit of red wine as well. And obviously some oil just to fry things up in. And then of course we've got a packet of Quorn Mince here as well. Now this only takes 10 minutes on the hob. So obviously if you do this with real meat, it's going to take longer to cook. So let's get started. Right, so what I'm going to do first then is just chop up these couple of onions, and then I'm going to fry them up in a pan with a bit of oil. So just chop them into fairly small pieces. Like that. Right, so I've got two deep pans here. So one is for the bolognese sauce, the other is for the pasta. So first I'm just going to add a little bit of oil into this pan, not too much, just to fry some onions in. And I'm going to add the onions off the chopping board into the pan and just fry those until they're slightly clear. Just before we fry the onions, I will make up a little bit of stock. So I'm just taking a couple of these chicken stock cubes and crumbling them up. And this is going to be added to our mixture later, but it's just kind of easier to get this done first. Also going to get my tins opened as well. I'm going to open these mushrooms and I'm just going to drain them as well so that they're ready to go into the mixture, because we don't want all the brine to go in there. Right, so we're just going to add a bit of boiling water to this stock, and we don't want loads. This is probably enough. The trick apparently with stock and gravy and things like that is to add boiling water and then keep stirring it as it's going in to stop it from being lumpy. So let's see, how much have I put in there? 0.2 litres, so that's 0.2 litres, so not very much, because there is going to be a lot of moisture in the tomatoes and the mushrooms as well. Okay, so that's all ready to go in the sauce when we need it. So we're going to go back over to the onions now. Also just going to measure out a bit of pasta to be boiled later. So this is going to be for 3 people, this meal, 3 adults. Okay, and now back to the onions. And we're just going to fry these up in a bit of oil. Okay, so the onions are kind of warmed through now, so we can start to add the other ingredients. So we're going to add the Quorn Mince next. Right, this pan is a nightmare because the bottom isn't even, so it wobbles around. So I'm going to add all of this, I think, for 3 people. I think there's probably going to be too much, but I can always tweak the rest. So we're just going to add the Quorn Mince, and we're going to heat that through. Now, if this was normal meat, you'd be kind of sealing the meat at this point. So basically getting it browned on all sides. So it wouldn't be cooked by any means, but it would take, 3 to 5 minutes to sort of seal it and brown it. And you would use exactly the same technique as this recipe, just putting all the ingredients in gradually, but you'd be leaving real mince to cook for about an hour all in total. That might be overkill, but that's what I do. But this only takes 10 minutes to cook, this Quorn stuff. We're going to add now the stock to give it a bit of moisture so that it doesn't all burn and stick to the pan. And then we're going to add some tinned tomatoes. I think we will add all of the juice actually, because it's not a great deal of moisture in here. And then we're also going to add the mushrooms as well, the tin mushrooms, and give it a good stir around and just kind of break up these whole tomatoes. So we're going to keep this moving so it doesn't stick to the pan. You can always add a bit more water if you want to, and so I've added a little bit more water there, but not too much, because with meat you would probably add a bit more than that, because it would be cooking for an hour. That would give the water more time to boil off. But with this, you know, it's not got long, it's got 10 minutes, so we don't want it swimming in liquid. So I've just added kind of another probably 0.15 litres in there. And then what we're going to do is add a little bit of tomato puree as well. So just some of this stuff. I'm just filming my pan just to make you laugh, because it's like it's just crazy. Look at the state of it. I should never ever have used this pan for a video, but it's not my fault, it's the bottom on it. Okay, so I'm going to add about 3 squeezes of tomato puree, about that size. 1, 2, 3. Stop shaking! And then just kind of give it a stir around. And I'm also going to add a little bit of this red wine to the mix as well. So literally just a dash. Don't want too much. The heat should boil off the alcohol. I always think it makes a big difference. Now I would add some oregano to this if I had some, but unfortunately I don't. But I would recommend, you know, just a little sprinkling of oregano in there, just to your taste. Then what I'm going to do as well is, you don't need to do this, it would be nice on its own, but I've got this spaghetti bolognese sauce, so I'm just going to add this in as well. There's half a packet here. It's just like a powder. It's made by Schwartz, this brand. And just stir that in. So we're just going to leave it now for the remaining 10 minutes to cook, to make sure the Quorn is cooked. But all the ingredients are in there now. It just needs to be kept moving and on a lower heat. So turn it down a bit so it doesn't stick to the pan or burn. And now I'm actually cooking my pasta a bit later, because I'm heating the sauce up in the microwave later on. So that's because my dinner guests won't be here just yet, but I wanted to make it in advance. So you want to be doing your pasta, giving it kind of 10-12 minutes. So put yours on at the beginning of the process, just so that it's ready in time, but I'm doing mine afterwards. So literally just putting some boiling water in there and boiling it for kind of 10 to 12 minutes to serve. Right, and this is the finished result. Hope it's going to be tasty. You can also serve it with a little bit of grated cheese as well. That's quite nice, but it's a good low cholesterol alternative to minced beef. If you have enjoyed this video, please do give me a like and a subscribe to my channel, and keep an eye out for my other videos. I do all sorts on here, and I want to thank you so much for watching and see you next time. Bye for now.